when I was talking to Dave Zanka, a former colleague of yours, and he told me, "Hey, you got to talk to Rob because he's just spectacular." One thing,
Oh,
a story that he mentioned to me was how you, and maybe it was multiple people, but he credited you, identified the potential for RF technology long before others had ever even heard of it. Can you share that story?
yeah, I know exactly what David was talking about, and, we had a pretty early effort that said, we had our tracking systems, which were, a huge part of what we did, and another thing that changed the world that I can't take credit for. I stand on the shoulders of giants there, Fred Smith and Jim Barksdale and others that put the tracking systems together, but I believed that as the internet was expanding and data was showing this, so this is an important thing about seeing around corners, is that there were these concussive circles of growth in the internet. It was going from, tens of millions to hundreds of millions to billions. And when it was getting to billions of endpoints on the internet, it was no longer just people communicating through the World Wide Web. There were systems and processes and things that were beginning that communication process. And so it became pretty obvious to me that more and more things were going to be on the network. And so I started a project called Tron at that point in time. And Tron had entered kind of the pop culture world because of the movie, but as a technician, I knew that Tron meant trace on, and it was sort of this active trace thing where if you were a programmer, you could actually watch your code execute, and it was important, but it was a real-time thing, not a, touch here, touch there kind of thing. So I believed that we would find ourselves in a world where ultimately, at least high value shipments, but probably almost everything wouldn't just get tracked by scans at waypoints. It would actually be on the network as it was moving. So I started Project Tron and started with RF, but RF had some limitations to it because of the field, the distance that it could go. So we started working with Bluetooth and Bluetooth Low Energy. Well, today we know that as AirTags and Tiles and things like that. But we have, a robust system inside of FedEx where we put Bluetooth Low Energy tags inside of high value shipments so that we can see them at all times. They connect to the networks around them. And so it's no longer we touched it here, we touched it here, and we touched it there, and then we delivered it to you. It's thousands of interactions from those sensors that tell you in very near real time where the shipment is. So it was a really fun project, and I got to do some cool things like be on the innovation show with Maria Bartiromo and stuff talking about the smart package, which was going to be on the network. But part of it is just looking at patterns and data. And what I was seeing was this concussive wave of internet. It was before people were talking about the Internet of Things, which
Mhm.
today, everyone talks about. All of our thermostats and our garage doors and everything else with locks to our houses are on net. But there are active sensors out there all over the place now that are also on net, and it became an important part. And I believe the real impact of it is even still, now, well over a decade later, yet to be felt. There's more to come there.